Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Daniel and welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about this absolutely beautiful Wine Expert Classic California Chardonnay wine making kit. This is going to be my very first attempt at making a wine making kit. I've already looked over all the ingredients, I've already looked over the instructions, and it does not seem like it is going to be too complicated. So this is exactly what you should expect to see in today's video. Obviously, it's all about this California Chardonnay Wine Expert Kit. I'm going to be opening it up. I'm going to be doing all the steps required for day one that's going to get you to your fermenting wine. I'm going to be talking about the rest of the steps in the video and just giving kind of my take, my personal opinion about doing my first wine kit. Now, before we dive into the video, I just want to remind all of you beautiful people to smash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see more videos of me making wine, if you want to see the follow-up videos, if you want to see more videos of me doing other fun, cool things, then smash that subscribe button. So with that out of the way, let's dive into this video. Hey guys, at this point in time, I'm already 1 week into fermenting my Chardonnay. Now I'm about to show you exactly how I got to this point and what you're going to do afterwards. But first, I just wanted to talk about some general things about this kit. So to dive into my history of making wine and making ciders and other things like that, everything that I've done up until this point has really just been going out, maybe buying some fresh cider from the farmer's market, getting some fruit, juicing it, adding some sugar, of course, adding some yeast, maybe a few other ingredients here and there, and then pretty much doing some sort of country wine. And so whenever I opened up this box, I was surprised to see some ingredients that I've really never heard of before. There were some granular oak chips that's going to give me a barrel-aged flavor. There was something called bentonite that I don't know anything about, but I just trust the process. And I will say that after looking over all the instructions, this has to be probably the most no-brainer, easiest thing that you could possibly do. You really are just using the equipment you have, putting some ingredients in it, taking a few measurements, and then letting it sit. Not that making country wine is that much more difficult, but I will say this requires very little thought. So if you're somebody who's trying to get into making wine, you've never done it before, and you want just kind of a step-by-step guide with all the ingredients you need, this is definitely worth looking into. Now, before I go into exactly how I got to this step right here, this was everything that I needed to do on day one of making my Chardonnay. I just want to remind all of you beautiful people that if you do want to try this out, if you do want to get yourself a Wine Expert Classic California Chardonnay, there is a link down in the description below. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a little something for it, but the link is down in the description below. So now that I've talked about my first thoughts opening the box and how easy I think the process is, let's dive into day one of making your California Chardonnay. All right, so here we are trying to make my very first Chardonnay using this Wine Expert Classic California Chardonnay wine making kit. This kit includes some already sweetened grape juice. So this is the Chardonnay grape juice with high fructose corn syrup in it. So you don't actually need to add any sugar to this recipe. So that makes things very easy. But as I was going through the recipe and looking at all the different ingredients, I could tell that things are going to be just a little bit different than I'm used to. So here are the instructions for how to make your very own Chardonnay. So for the first day's process, you're going to need a glass jug. Wow. You're going to need an airlock. You're going to need some way to stir things. You're going to need a solid bung. You're going to need a hydrometer. Eventually down the road, we will need more tools because we're going to be doing the fining process and the bottling process. But for now, this is all we need. So step one is to take the equipment we need. That's our glass jug, that's our hydrometer, and I'm using this funnel. I made sure that I sanitized everything. So now we're good to go ahead and start adding the ingredients. Step 1.1 is already completed. We clean and sanitized our equipment. Good job, guys. Now, step 1.2 is to pour 1 cup of hot water into the bottom of our primary fermenter. This is some hot water. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into there. Wow, so the reason that we're pouring some hot water, oh, that's probably a little too hot, it's steamy. The reason that we're pouring some hot water into this is because we're going to be adding our bentonite. What in the world is bentonite? please answer the question down in the comments below because I have no idea what bentonite is. And watch carefully as I pour the bentonite into the funnel. Wow, fantastic. All right, so the next step now that we put the bentonite in there is to mix well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my bung on. I'm just going to mix it up. And it says specifically that it is normal for the bentonite to not fully dissolve in the water. So now step 1.3 is pour the juice in the jug. Very exciting. So there's a reason that there's a towel. That smells absolutely amazing. Okay. And I just put the grape juice in the bottle. Remember when I said that this is so simple to do and that it requires literally no thinking to the point that it's boring? Yes, but if we do this right, hopefully I should have 1 gallon of delicious Chardonnay. There's some nice residue left in that bag. This is nothing like making fruit wine from fresh ingredients. Literally nothing like it. Okay, the bentonite and juice are added. Now, top primary fermenter or jug up to 1 gallon mark with good quality, cool drinking water. So I pre-measured out exactly where 1 gallon comes out on this bad boy, so I know where to stop. Alright, so that's just about 1 gallon right there. And then it says if your kit has your oak granular toasted, you're pretty much, this is what's going to give you that barrel-aged flavor. If your kit has it, it says to add it now. Cool, so I added all the ingredients in, and now it says to stir well. So it's my favorite part. Now it wants us to take a specific gravity reading. The specific gravity is supposed to be between 1.080 and 1.097, and it's sitting right around 1.84, so it's perfect. Beautiful, voila. This is my very first time taking a specific gravity reading. It turns out it's actually not that complicated. All right, so the specific gravity is good. There's the bentonite, there's the juice, there's the water, there's the oak chips. But now we gotta add the most important special ingredient. That's it, the yeast. Step 1.7 says to sprinkle the dry yeast on top of the wine. Probably would have been easier if I would have used the bucket as a primary fermenter, but you know what? I'm having a great time doing this. No regrets. Cool, so the next 2 steps is to put on an airlock and leave it somewhere that's 68 to 70 degrees. Easy day, so there you have it. That's day 1. We added some bentonite, the mysterious chemical X that made some gray hazy liquid. Then we added some grape juice. Then we added some water. Then we added some charred oak chips. Then we added the dry yeast. Now we're going to put an airlock on it and let it sit for 2 weeks. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is day 1 completely done. And everything after that really is just the fining and bottling process. The only ingredients I have left are this sulfite sorbate. This is just the stabilizer you're going to add so that the wine stops fermenting whenever you reach a desired specific gravity. Then you're going to be adding some keelsisol and some chitosan. Never encountered either of these 2 ingredients, but I'm just going to be following the instructions. The instructions really don't say what they're for. It just says, hey, once you reach this stage, add them. I'm assuming that they're going to add to the quality of your finished product. Then whenever the wine's done clearing and everything's ready to go, I'm going to be doing a completely separate video of bottling this absolutely beautiful California Chardonnay. This is my very first grape wine, and so I was pretty excited about it, and I really didn't know where to go out and just buy some grapes that were wine quality And so I figured that doing this wine expert kit was the best way to go. And whenever I bottle it and taste it, I'll know for sure whether or not I made the right move. But at this point in time, it really wasn't very expensive. It was super easy to do. And I'm fairly hopeful this wine is going to turn out well. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wine Expert Classic California Chardonnay boxed set kit. Like I already said, if you're interested in picking one up, there is a link down in the description below. And if you want to see the finished product, if you want to see me bottle and taste this bad boy, make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for future content. Now, if you have not even begun making wine at home, if you have no equipment, if you don't know what you're doing or where to start, I highly recommend that you check out my video where I review one of Homebrew Ohio's wine making kits. It has everything that you need to begin making wine with the exception of sugar and fruit. As always, I'm so glad that you guys are here learning with me. This was a first time process for me. I really do enjoy making wine. This was different, but still extremely simple, and I cannot wait to taste the finished product. I look forward to bottling and tasting this wine and sharing my experience with all of you. But until then, I hope that you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Have a great day, guys.